Hip hop reinforces stereotypes about the black community.
Dreaming of the
Man,
perfect
how many
SEO
ads y'all
tool?
need, bro?
Looking for a
Man, y'all be going forward, hardcore.
In South Africa, we have our own version of hip hop, so we call it Kwaito. So they would rap in our own language in different, we call it Vernac. So back home, it kind of did reinforce some stereotypes because now when you go out in the world, people will just classify you under one group. And growing up, also looking at American entertainment, looking at the hip hop that's done here, I'm like, oh well, you're rapping about drugs, you're rapping about this. Of course it's going to happen. Of course you're going to go to jail. But getting older, you see the culture as well of hip hop. I had to understand that there's a culture within that.
I was alive when hip hop started, and it was during a time where people rapped about what they saw, what they wanted in life. And then it became where people rapped about what they had been through, what they had gotten over. You know, used to sell drugs, used to hurt people, but now this is who they are. And I think it's gotten into now, and in our day and age now, it's where people are glorifying and wanting to pretend that these are the things that they do on a daily basis when it's not. So it went from storytelling to now really it's truly storytelling, but it's unhealthy for our culture.
I don't want to on my radio and all I'm hearing is I put a bullet in it, something. Like I'm like, eh? That's what you people do? No, like, sorry. And then it's like, it's all about like talking about female body type, the booty, the thing. Like, don't talk about my booty like that. So I don't want to listen to something that portray me as a female that way, or something that is talking about how you put bullets in my head. Like, if you actually do not come to America and see for yourself, you will think that most African Americans are carrying guns around and they just shoot randomly or they just grab your ass or something like that. That's the way the music portray them. And music is a very important element in our society because it influences a lot of people, both young and adult, and then they kind of see all those stuff and they act like that, even though that's not what they really want to be. They act like that and behave like that. Like if all these rappers are your role model, then you want to be like them. You want to be cool too. So in the end, it's about like the people that are packaging the music, and sometimes it's about trend, is what people want to hear.
The American dream is only for white people.
Turn off all ads.
I believe that the American dream is only for white people because it says equal. And when we talk about equal, there's no equality between the 1%, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Trumps, and the people who really run the media and things of that nature. So for black people growing up in America and living in America, we could become rich, we could become wealthy, but we are not on the equal playing field of white America. The system of white supremacy, which is in the law enforcement, which is in the judicial system, which is in the prison industrial association, also in the politics. We are not equal in any of those terms.
When I was back there, when you were speaking, I started thinking like, could we ever actually, as black people, have the American dream here in America? And I don't know if we really can, I'm trying to be careful with my words, but I do think there needs to be a degree of separatism. Like black people, we really need to have our own to fully take part in that dream.
This is their system.
Yeah.
Why would we dream of being equal in a system that wasn't designed for us?
It's the truth.
the American dream, at least the way that
I have to pause. Stuff's real, man. At the end of the day, bro, they made all the rules and they made them for themselves. When they made the rules, your boy couldn't stand 6 feet close to anybody with skin that was white, simply because of the skin color. Back in the day, when they made the rules, they could punch me in the mouth, knock my teeth out, and all they would do is spit on me and walk off. And I would naturally just have to take it, because if I dare lay a finger on them, that's my deathbed. Instead of just getting punched in the mouth, now I'm dead. Public execution. American Dream was not made for people who looks like your boy. Because back in the day when they made the rules, your boy was gruel on the floor. And that's just the facts. It's facts, it's facts, it's facts. People don't like to, people will be like, no, that's like real life stuff back then. I thank God I don't live back in those times. Because I would be dead, you know, I'll swing back. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you knock my teeth out. Like, now I look ugly. Now I can't get a girl. It's over. I might as well kill, you know, square up. But, nah, seriously, that stuff is real. So, yeah, let me get back to this.
That I define it is, you know, freedom of opportunity, freedom to choose what I want to do, freedom to acquire wealth the same way that anybody else can. Obviously, we're fighting the tides of time on that and our circumstances, but it's hard because it's hard to honor that, but then also want more for myself. And I think that as Black people, we're always teeter-tottering on that line of like, well, am I American? Like, do I get the American dream, or do we just tear all this down and build something new? White people are not the only people entitled to the American dream ever. And I think that that's why we're all here, because our ancestors made it so that we can stand here and pursue that American dream.
I wouldn't have been here if it meant that it was not for everyone. I wouldn't have even entered America. You know, I feel like not just African, but other people as well in different countries. And from what I have seen, I've seen other people, even Africans and African Americans, succeeding in their own way. And that's why I feel like you said, you can interpret the American dream in a different way, whatever industry or whatever it is that you're focusing on, because there is a level of opportunity there. There is some way that you can be successful. You know, talking about Trevor Noah, you know, who took over The Daily Show, it wouldn't have been possible for him coming in as an African. He got his American dream. It made us as well, other Africans, believe that it is possible.
The American dream writes his check. So he gets to have wealth, or whatever it is that he's experiencing, but the American dream is the one who writes his check, not him.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But do you see how we would put it as he had his American dream, even though someone writes his check? But for him, or for some of us looking at it on the other side, that's his American dream, because his goal was to get there. The biggest cultural shock I saw coming here was definitely the lifestyle. Because the lifestyle I saw of America, especially Los Angeles, was portrayed as a very rich lifestyle. And of course, I came here as a student, and coming here, living here, and seeing the reality of it, seeing different homeless people, disadvantaged people, was really a cultural shock for me, because I didn't expect to see that. And I guess also the way people were handling each other, because coming in as an African, I thought people were together. But since being here, I saw that there was a huge divide, or there is still a huge divide within the African American community themselves.
If he had stayed in South Africa, would he have the same opportunity that he had here?
No.
Like, you know, so corporate is writing his check, but like us growing up, the reason we move here is because we don't have it better back home. Like me, like for me, I'm the first person ever in my family in America. Everybody else is back home. Everybody's depending on me. All of them, my mom, she's dying to come here. Like, she willing to do anything just for her to be in America. So for me, when I look at those like little things, I'm like, yeah, American dream is for everybody, you know? Like, yeah, we might not have the same opportunity as the white people, but there's still that little chance that a lot of us back home are willing to take just to get here.
Forms and surveys like this get responses like that.
And I really hate these ads. I respect it though, bro. Cause like, at the end of the day, you know, I was born here, and I'm still able to complain. But your boy got a TV, a video game system, and a computer, and a roof. Now, I paid for this stuff, but the amount of money that I was getting when I was getting this stuff was enough, obviously, to get this stuff and still live comfortably enough. Back there, bro, I don't know everything, but I know some places it's just you get what you get. You don't get a TV in certain places. You don't get electricity in certain places, and if you do, you only get it for 12 hours a day in certain places. So the game is the least thing that you're ever going to be looking at or worrying about. The TV, no one cares about that. That's a commodity. To people here who live here and work a regular job, most of them have a TV of some type of screen, whether it be a phone or anything, bro. Just to get around, just not to get around, obviously. A phone's to get around, call an Uber, things like that. But I'm saying a TV just for entertainment, a screen for entertainment, you know? So I see what he's saying. Like, the dream for him could easily just be to make money in American dollars and send some back home every now and again, which would probably be like 3 times the American dollar. It could be 3 times their currency, and he could just be making bank for the people. Like, there was a woman at McDonald's that I had met one time. She was African, and she was talking about, and I was like, hey, how much you make here? And she said, you know, so-and-so. Wasn't a lie. But I was like, that's not really a lie. You could, like, make more somewhere else, you know? She was like, yeah, but I'm cool, because honestly, I'm just sending money to my people, and the currency here is 3 times back at home, and this is more than enough for me. And I was like, wow, I really thought about that. And I was like, yeah, ultimately she could have made more, because, you know, 3 times anything is 3 times anything. So let's say she was making 12. Well, where I was working, you was making 15. So that's like $9 more an hour that you could be sending to these people. But, you know, she was chilling. So I wasn't really trying to sit here and convince her. I just put that out there because I was having a conversation. But the fact is that she's making more than enough for herself and then for her family. And she was cool. So some people, the American dream is just making enough money to get them a phone, get them a place to live, and then send money back home to their family to feed them. You know what I'm saying? It's different for everybody.
Law enforcement.
I don't have a thing to say.
All right, can the disagreeer step forward?
With everybody in the club. Everybody in the club.
I got married to a young lady who did 15 years in prison for a robbery she didn't commit. I myself was incarcerated for 6 months for a burglary that I couldn't have committed because I was in prison. So in 1987, I'm doing 19 months in prison. When I came home in 1988, I was given a burglary charge and I had to sit 6 months. And the judge did not kick it out because there's no way I could have done it. He kicked it out because they didn't serve me the warrant while I was in prison.
Wow.
So I don't trust them. They lie and they do things, and it affects our people. So many people I know who have been wrongfully arrested, wrongfully convicted, and they actually lie on the stand. So there's no trust.
As you guys know, I am from Richmond, Virginia. It was the capital of the Confederate. I have been brutally abused by the police there. Like, personally, I was at the river on the 4th of July. I don't smoke. I don't do none of that. The police come and arrest me because I look like a drug dealer. Like, they arrested me.
What? The stereotype?
Yeah, then when I was in high school, my senior year, my father went to jail over a car accident, and I was left alone at 17 years old. I was grateful. One of my teachers took me in and like raised me. I try to stay away from the police as much as possible.
First of all, they're human beings, and I think that just because you put a badge on,
I hear that.
that doesn't magically bewitch you with like integrity and a desire to actually help the people around you. I think a lot of times police culture comes from police families. It comes from like legacy lines and this whole like kind of like culture about stuff. I mean, I don't trust them any more than I would trust any other person. They haven't earned that necessarily, especially not as an institution in its purest form. I think it's necessary, but they have a lot of living up to that to do and to make up for if they're going to be trusted.
I've seen law enforcement here on social media and seeing how they treat people of color, you know, from like hitting them. I mean, George Floyd, you know, rest in peace. But just seeing that from my experience being here, I was scared, you know, like every time I'd see a cop pass by, I'm like, okay, I better make sure I'm driving okay, you know, because I don't want to be stopped, or make sure you're not in any harm's way, you know. But it's sad to feel that pressure every time you see a cop going by. And even if they trying to help, but I wouldn't even want that help because of what I've been seeing on social media.
It's too true, bro. It's just too true.